So I wanted to chat with you guys a little bit more in depth about insulin resistance, what it is, how it impacts fat loss or weight loss, and what you can do to improve it. Good news is that through diet and lifestyle, you can improve this. The bad news is that if you don't do anything about it, it leads to other chronic conditions, including diabetes. The more insulin resistant you become, the harder it is for you to lose weight. What is insulin resistance? It's basically a condition where the body becomes less responsive, or your cells become less responsive to insulin. Insulin is our fat storing hormone. So insulin takes the glucose from your blood and it helps to transport or facilitate the process of the cells taking that up. Your cells are taking in that glucose to be utilized as energy, as well as storing it for later. And when you are insulin resistant, that process doesn't happen as efficiently, and you have more glucose circulating in your blood. So your blood sugar is higher, which means that your body or your pancreas is putting out more and more and more insulin to try to keep up with that. And over time, you are overproducing glucose, or you have this excess glucose in your blood, as well as an overproduction of insulin. And when insulin is high, you are not able to burn fat. Your insulin is, as I mentioned, the fat storing hormone. And so you have all this excess glucose in your bloodstream being stored as fat instead of being stored for energy. In order for all those processes to kind of go back to normal and to reduce your blood sugar, which will then impact weight loss. So you will probably notice that you are gaining belly fat, so that visceral fat, especially in your midsection. You might be really tired all the time. You might have increased hunger. Those are kind of some signs. But if you want to know if you are insulin resistant, the best way to do that is to obviously get blood work and check your A1C, your insulin, your fasting insulin, and your blood glucose levels. Another key indicator of insulin resistance can be your cholesterol level. So you want to look at your triglyceride to HDL ratio. You'll take your triglyceride number and divide that by your HDL and get that ratio. If it's under 1.1, that's optimal. If it's 1.2 to 1.9, that is normal. Over 2 would probably suggest that you have insulin resistance. So that's one key marker that you can look for on your blood work, and talk to your doctor about that. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're doing your blood work fasted so that you have accurate numbers, and making sure that you're getting that blood work done at least annually. The reasons why we become more insulin resistant as we age: we are less active, we are eating more processed foods. Americans eat an extreme amount of carbohydrates, processed sugar, I'm not talking about like apples and oranges. We have more inflammation in our bodies because of the foods that we're consuming. We are losing muscle mass simply because we're aging, and not combating that is causing us to be more insulin resistant. Our sleep may not be great. So I want to talk through a couple of ways that you can improve your insulin sensitivity. You start your day off with that significant amount of protein, which kind of blunts your blood sugar response for the day. You're not having that huge spike in your blood sugar to start the day and then a crash a few hours later. Another thing to avoid is snacking. I always tell my clients that it's much better to eat 3 macro dense meals a day than trying to snack your way to your macro goals. So also helps to regulate your blood sugar throughout the day. The way that you eat your foods, you're always pairing your carbohydrates with a protein or a fat. If you can try to eat fiber or protein or fat before you eat your carbohydrates, so save your carbs for, last at your meal, that will really help to regulate your blood sugar and your insulin. Sleep and stress are also very impactful in terms of insulin resistance. You want to make sure that you're getting a good night's sleep, as well as, trying to eliminate stress as much as possible. I know that's easier said than done, but if you can focus on sleep, and that's going to help to keep your cortisol regulated. And as we know, cortisol is actually very much related to your blood sugar and insulin levels. So if we can reduce keep your cortisol in a healthy place instead of it always being chronically elevated, that's going to help to reduce that chance of insulin resistance and your blood sugar being constantly elevated. Let's talk about exercise and how that impacts. First and foremost, just walk more. Just aim to get more steps. And if you can take a 5 to 10 minute walk after your meals, that's going to help balance out your... And here is my favorite. Strength training, resistance training, building muscle will help to improve insulin sensitivity. Why? Because muscle is where you store glucose. So the more muscle you have on your body, the more glucose you can store and the less insulin you need. Muscle helps to ensure that you're more metabolically flexible, burns more calories, even at rest. The more lean muscle mass you have, the more calories you're burning. And that means that you are able to regulate or manage your weight better. Just being more active throughout the day, pairing that with a whole foods diet. Our goal in the Faster Way is to help you optimize your metabolism as well as balance your blood sugar through everything we do in the Faster Way is helping to regulate your blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity, whether you know it or not. Whether we talk about it or not, everything you're doing is helping make a positive impact there through your nutrition, through your movement, through intermittent fasting, through carb cycling, through whole food nutrition, as I mentioned, through our resistance training. All of those things are helping to manage your blood sugar and improve your metabolism. Therefore, if these areas can improve, you're much more likely to be successful in weight loss. Listen, everything we do in the Faster Way is working to improve your overall health. We are working to reduce our chances of experiencing chronic disease. And, I have a terrible family health history. Genetics, they have loaded my gun, and I'm going to do everything I can to prevent, pulling the trigger with that diet and lifestyle. And that's what the Faster Way is all about. It's helping you feel good on the inside. And once you, work to improve what is happening internally, the physical changes will come as a result of that.